Thanks for tuning into the Voices of Change podcast with myself, Coach Monique E., and Coach Danielle. Stay tuned for today's episode. Hey fam, welcome to episode 9. We are coming to a close in the season, but not just yet. We're going to have one more episode after this one, but today we'll be talking about entrepreneurship. A lot of you out there are business owners, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and we just want to share some tidbits on how we got started, and also give you some tidbits that they don't show you or talk about on social media. So with that being said, Danielle, how was your day today?
My day was eventful. Okay, it was full, it was packed, but I am not complaining. To God be your glory. And I think that is one of the things that starting out as an entrepreneur, especially when you have another career, is finding balance, right?
Yes.
Especially when you have another career, which we both do. And so I'm finding that now to be a little bit more, how can I say, not stressful, but that balance, keeping that balance is becoming more difficult. Because as your business grows as an entrepreneur, it starts to become overwhelming because now you also have a career. And so finding that balance at this point can be more challenging, if that makes sense.
And I totally agree with that because, like you said, working a 9-to-5 career / job is very overwhelming by itself. And then adding your own profession, which is your business, can be quite difficult. If you don't handle it well, you will fall under, meaning that your business will be expunged, or what's the word I'm trying to use? You have to shut down your business. And the goal here is, if you do have a career, is to make sure that once you get done with your career, make sure you take some time out to put into your own business. I've been there. It was not easy. And I, like Coach Danielle said, we have to find balance in the 9-to-5 and your own business. For example, say if you work your 9-to-5, 8:30, 4:30 regular business hours, you want to take some time out to put some time into your own profession, your own goals. Set some goals. It doesn't have to be a big task. It could just be putting content out. And then the easy thing about that, Coach D, now you can schedule the dates. So that's the good thing about it. You can go to MailChimp. You can go to, what is that other site that we have that helps you schedule around the dates and the times that you want to put out your content. Also, you want to make sure that you stick to what you say. That's the key, being consistent. You have to be consistent, because if you do not, what you're doing is you're only letting down self.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you do that, it's not only disappointing, it's also very, very frustrating. So what is your take on it?
I'll say this. Very first thing is, if you are looking into becoming an entrepreneur, the first thing is you have to understand that you cannot have an employee mindset and have entrepreneurial success. There is no way. Because an employer, when you work for someone, they're telling you what time to be there, what you need to do, to get this project done, or the rules and regulations, and they're paying you, right? They're paying you to do a job. And so entrepreneurship you're doing all of that. You're dictating your hours. You're dictating, your procedures and your policies. And guess what? When you're first starting, you may not even get a paycheck. You can,
Ooh, say
so
that again.
you may not even get a paycheck, and 9 times out of 10 you just will not, you won't. And I think
Hmm.
people don't realize that. And I think the challenge is that people go in with these huge expectations when it comes to their business, and then when they can't meet those expectations, they are no longer motivated, and they just stop. They have
Hmm.
no more motivation to continue. So I
That's
think
so
if
true.
you are um trying to become an entrepreneur, you should really get a coach. You should really have a coach or a mentor that is going to help you. These are the things I tell people. You need a coach or mentor, you need an accountant, and you need
I
a lawyer.
totally agree. I
Those three
totally agree.
people are so essential in entrepreneurship. It's one thing, there's a lot of people that can just start a business. You get a tax ID, you start a business, you can say I'm a business owner. But if you want to become a successful business owner, you need these three people in your life,
Hmm.
okay? And you need to be consistent. And, I get this question a lot, and people are saying, well, Danielle, why do you work a 9 to 5 and your business is successful? Your businesses are successful. And my answer to that used to be, I was trying to balance because of the career that I have as a therapist and a coach. It's very how can I say, very not stressful, but very what's
Tedious.
the word for it? Yeah, it can be
Hmm.
very emotional. It
Hmm.
can be very stressful as far as,
Draining.
yeah, draining. Absolutely, that's the word, draining. So for me, I was like, okay, I can have a balance where I don't have to be in that therapist or coach mode all day long, and I can kind of break that off a little bit. um Now, the answer to that, and I'm just keeping it real, is knowing that have that security in that 9 to
Hmm.
5, and that would
Hmm.
be a whole lot of money to give up. Right? Because I
Right.
know it's there.
Right.
It's guaranteed, right? Entrepreneurship, it fluctuates,
Yes.
weekly, especially for therapy and coaching. And so now I can truly say, and I have no problem saying it, it was due to fear, but at that fear, I'm conquering it. Right? God is
Hmm.
pushing me
And that's
out
a
of
good
that.
thing.
So, but I have to keep it real with myself and say it switched from keeping balance and my sanity to fear of not having that income. And so now God is saying, well, if you trust me in this, you have to trust me in that. You can't
Hmm.
pick and choose what you trust me in. Trust is
That's good.
trust,
Hmm.
right? And so for all you entrepreneurs out there, just know that it's going to take hard work, dedication. I don't even say do something that you're passionate or have a desire for, because that can die out. The flame can go out.
Mm.
You
That's
have
good.
to become an entrepreneur based on your purpose. And that does
Hmm.
not mean that you were put here to do one thing. I have several things that I do, but I know my lane, and I have to stay in that lane, because if I try to get out of that lane, it may not be successful, because that's not my purpose. My
Hmm.
purpose it's like a tree, right? It has different branches. And so we have to understand first who we are, what our purpose is, and then pray about it. I say
Hmm.
pray, plan, and execute. PPE. That's my PPE. Plan, pray, and execute. Right, Coach Mo? Like, I think
Yeah.
people don't see the
I
blood, sweat,
pep.
and tears. We got to
Hmm.
keep it real with these people,
Hmm.
because people are like, okay, well, you have this business, you have all this going for you. It doesn't take much. I can tell you right now, Coach Mo, I can start a business in my sleep, but to
Hmm.
make it successful, I have to be woke. Does that make
Ooh.
sense?
That's
I have to be
what was the
woke.
song? Stay woke, stay woke. Something
Okay.
like that.
Okay, because those people don't see those nights where you're up at night crying because this plan you had didn't work out, or
Hmm.
you lost money, or you don't have the support. This is the big one. This is a big one. I hear it all the time. Well, I don't get the support from people that are closest to me, family members, friends. I can tell you 90% of my business are from people I
You
don't
never
know.
will.
People I don't know, and I don't hold that against anybody. It doesn't mean that I think any less of you. I just learned that's just how it rolls. You know,
Yeah.
so, and you have to move past that. You got to get out your own head. You have to get out your own head. You
And
know.
see, okay. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I heard you say PPE,
Mm-hmm.
plan, execute, and what was the other one?
Pray,
Plan, execute, and
plan,
pray.
and execute.
And
Mm-hmm.
that is so true because I always tell my clients I'm your pep coach because I
Mm-hmm.
help you to plan, execute, and prosper.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is I always told myself that I never wanted anyone to go through what I went through. When they
Mm-hmm.
say you start from the bottom of the barrel,
Yes.
I started from the gutter
Mm-hmm.
of not being educated, not
Mm-hmm.
having a mentor,
Yeah.
and I did a lot of things wrong before I truly got it right. And I'm
Yeah.
still learning.
Mm-hmm.
However, I believe when you learn, you teach someone else.
Yes.
That's just my motto, point blank and
Mm-hmm.
period.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, a lot of times I do stuff for free, like on every Monday. I have when we first started off with the introduction, I have
Mm-hmm.
a Monday mentorship program
Mm-hmm.
where my mentor, my
Mm-hmm.
economic mentor, and myself, and he has his mentee, and we teach people about buying homes and buying land, stock,
Mm-hmm.
investing in the stock market. Um, all sorts of things that we learned that we're trying to share within our community and anybody outside of the community.
Mm-hmm.
However, we want to educate people about success. A lot of people don't even know what money truly is. Money is
Mm-hmm.
not just green, money is just not to be spent, but
Right.
money is a vehicle to
Mm-hmm.
help you get to another destination.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Coach D was saying, yes, she has a 9 to 5
Mm-hmm.
and she also has a business,
Mm-hmm.
but she is prospering in both divisions and both marketplaces
Mm-hmm.
because she had one, a goal, two, she was consistent, and
Yeah.
three, she's dedicated and committed to what she said she was wanting to do.
Yep.
And when you want, you get off your job and you go straight home and go to sleep, or you start watching Netflix, you're bound to fail.
Yep.
You're bound to
Mm-hmm.
fail because you have to set minimum goals, not nothing
Absolutely.
drastic or something that you're gonna be disappointed that you didn't execute. We
Mm-hmm.
want you to set minimum goals. If you're just getting started and you need somebody to help you um, create or even think about a name for your business. It's just
Mm-hmm.
little stuff like that that will help you through um, the stages of entrepreneurship because a lot of people don't even know where to go to
Nope.
create their
Mm-hmm.
EIN number. They
Exactly.
don't know that they need a DUNS number.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's a lot of things, especially when you start maneuvering into a different tax bracket.
Mm-hmm.
God
Oh,
forbid if you don't know how to um, balance
mm-hmm.
your funds. Do
Yes.
not go spending, and we were just talking about this, Coach D. Do not go
Mm-hmm.
spending all of your quote unquote profit because
Right.
it's not actually profit because you always going to have some kind of expense, meaning
Exactly.
something that is going to be taken away from that
Mm-hmm.
account to go
Mm-hmm.
towards your business.
Right.
So this is good because
Yeah.
like I said, a lot of people are not well educated on how to get started. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why um, the scores are so high with business ending within the
Yeah.
first year.
Yep. Yep.
And I didn't know how high it was, but it's up there
Yeah, it is.
because, like you said, a lot of people they give up too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to just live just to pay bills. That's just not,
Right.
no, that's not
That's
my
not of
DNA.
God. Mm-mm, that is
Yeah,
not of
that's not my
God.
DNA. Mm-mm.
I'll say that in a minute. That is not what God intended. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No way.
If
And,
that's the
and
day, God.
because I think people think entrepreneurship is fast money. That's not what this
Mm-hmm.
is. If you want
Yeah,
fast
this is
money,
about
go to a
longevity.
casino. You know, go to
Mm-hmm.
a casino,
Right.
because entrepreneurship is not something that you're going to jump right in and make millions right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes hard work, dedication. It takes, now we'll say this. When I first started entrepreneurship, I
Mm-hmm.
remember someone saying, entrepreneurs never sleep. And I believed that. And I used to, when I tell you, I used to feel guilty if I
Mm-hmm.
went to sleep early, or, if I went to sleep
Mm-hmm.
and I woke up later, I used to feel guilty. And I said, wait a
Me
minute,
too. Me too.
wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute. That's not making sense to me. Yeah, you may have thoughts at night and you may not be able to sleep, but I have learned to jot these things down and go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Right.
Pray and lay, okay? That's it.
Right.
Because you need to be in your best mindset. You need to be rested, well rested, to make
Mm-hmm.
good, sound decisions, okay? I'm
Right.
not staying up all types of times of the night. I'm not doing all that, because guess what? Tomorrow, when I wake up, I have to be good, because it's not only me I have to be concerned about, it's my clients, it's my
Right.
my other career. I have to make sure that I'm effective. And so all of that, no, finding balance is key, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing to that is this, and I incorporate this in my academy, Mindset Transformation Academy, is for those who are entrepreneurs or looking to become entrepreneurs. And I
Mm-hmm.
give them the 5 characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. Okay. And the first one is humility and self awareness. Okay. You have to be customer oriented.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
have to like people. Even, you got to be your true authentic self. So you can't push yourself and make it seem like, because I can see right through that. I can see when somebody is so fake and phony.
Right.
It makes
But
no
listen,
sense.
Coach D, what people fail to realize,
Hmm.
your business is 99 point percent
Yes. Hmm.
customer service.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
you're giving awful customer
Hmm.
service, you're not going to be in business long. People
Absolutely.
want to feel that they can trust you. People want to feel comfortable around you. People
Hmm.
want to feel that
Hmm.
when they come to you, they're not going to have to be all um, feel like you're in your feelings or you have an attitude.
Right.
No, you
Hmm.
want to give, I mean, satisfaction
Hmm.
to your customer.
Hmm.
Not to say your customer is always right, because that is not true.
That is not true.
However, you
Hmm.
truly want to give them top notch customer service. That way
Absolutely.
they'll say, hey, no, I want to go to Monique, or hey, I want to go to Danielle, nobody
Hmm.
else.
Hmm. You are your brand. You are your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so, after, you being customer orientated, you also have to be cost efficient. You can't be out here just
Mm-hmm.
splurging and spending money. You make $500, you
Mm-hmm.
can't go out and spend $500. Like, it just doesn't work that way. You have to be highly adaptable and future
Mm-hmm.
oriented, because things are evolving constantly in the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure you keep up with that, because you will be lost. You have to be a risk taker and not afraid of failure. That's the number one thing. You cannot be afraid of failure. And I don't really call them
Mm-hmm.
failures, I call them learning lessons. Because how are
Right.
we going to get better if we don't know what needs to become better? Right? What are some
Mm-hmm.
things we need to
That's
do
good.
differently? um and this is the one
Excuse me.
thing I said, Coach Mo, and I think I said
Mm-hmm.
this to you before. I don't think small. I I
Mm-hmm.
just I can't. Like, this is who God has made me to be, but it can also be a negative, because when I first started, and this is why I can talk about this, is because when I first started as an entrepreneur, I
Mm-hmm.
thought so big and had these big plans, that when it didn't happen, I was like, oh, this is Operation Shutdown. I'm not doing this. If this is not,
Right.
this has to be top tier. This has to be
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Everything,
Yeah.
every I has to be dotted, every T has to be crossed. No, that's too small for me. This is too small. This is not of God. No, my thinking was so big that when those expectations were met, I thought I was the failure and that I couldn't do this and this wasn't God, and because God
Mm-hmm.
said I'll do great things and blah, blah. We know how to use the word, but sometimes we use
Oh
the word
yeah.
against ourselves, right?
Right.
So
And
I
use
know
it at
what
the
it's
wrong
like.
time.
Yeah, I know what it's like
Mm-hmm.
to set unrealistic expectations. And so that's why you need a coach or a mentor, someone who has gone through it that can get, like you said before, Coach Mo, is I don't want people to go through what I've gone through. I want to
Mm-hmm.
help make it easier. And that's one of the reasons why I started the academy, is that I want to instill in people or give people what I've learned so that they don't have to take this long or years and years and years of trying to start something and make it successful. And so that's why that's what made me start that. And God said, what you go through is not just for you. It's for
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
to each one teach one. Right. And
Right.
so
That's my
that's
motto.
how I'm
Mm-hmm.
also coming up with, and I think I shared a little bit. I didn't share everything with you, and we're talk behind the scenes, but BOSS, BOSS apostrophe D,
Mm-hmm.
is
Love
building
it.
other successful sisters daily. Right. And so it's going to be a network of people that it's going to be a one-stop shop. We're going to have everything you need, from accountants to
Mm-hmm.
lawyers to coaches to mentors. You only going to have to press one button and you're going to have
Whoop
everything
whoop.
you need in that one network. Okay. So
Love
that
it.
is coming
Love it.
soon. And that's something that God has downloaded in me, because we can do so much more together. We can cover so many more territories together than we
Mm-hmm.
can as one single person.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is something that I am working on now. I said, Lord, you're adding something else to my plate, but he says you don't have a plate, you have a table.
Oh, come through, God. Come
You have a
through.
table. Okay. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and this table doesn't mean that it's just me sitting at this table. He
Right.
showed me this is how it came up with this network, is that we all have a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
That's
so
good.
this is what we're trying to do. This is one of our aims. And again, don't think that because you own a business that you're going to make this fast easy money, because it takes work. It takes work.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask
Yes.
questions. There is no silly question in business. I'm sorry. There's no silly question. People ask all the time, well, how do I get an EIN number? What do I need to do after
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, it's better to ask than to do it incorrectly and have to go back and fix it. It takes more work to do that.
Right.
Right.
But
And
let's.
so, Coach Mo, what are some other tips that you think other like people need to know as far as starting a business and then keeping it in a place where um they want to be or feel more motivated to continue to build? What do you think they need to do?
Like you said, do not, hear ye. Do not go after something that you might think, with a
Mm,
capital K, that you
mhm,
like or
mhm,
that you're passionate about.
mhm.
And Coach D said it. That will be your downfall.
Yeah.
You want to go after something that pulls after your,
Right.
and I mean that every time you sleep, you're thinking about it.
Mhm,
Every time you go somewhere, you see it. And
mhm.
it's a difference between passion and something that tugs inside your spirit.
Yes.
That means that God is really trying to tell you that it's yours, like
Mhm,
seriously.
mhm,
And I'm gonna give you an example, is because I'm going after something that I have no idea how to do within the government.
mm,
And I'm like, Lord, why would you put me in a foreign land?
mhm,
And he said this to me: you can possess it.
mm.
you can rule, you can dominate, because guess what? That's what I ordained you to do upon the earth. And I was like, whoa, hold on a minute.
Wow.
And it was just confirmation that,
Mm.
hey, this is mine. Anything that you put your mind to it, that already means, that validates that God already had it placed inside of you.
Yeah.
And my favorite scripture is Matthew 19:26. And it says that with God, all things are possible.
All
So
things.
basically, what I am
Mm-hmm.
telling you today, there is nothing that you cannot do if you rock with God. And I'm going to say that again.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing on this earth that you, as an individual, that you cannot do if you rock with God. And that's just facts.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, number two, make sure that if you do not know, and I gotta reiterate almost all of what Coach D said, ask. Get up under someone, find a solid mentor that you know who is successful, that you know who does not mind taking you up under their wing and catering to the need that you have. Not saying that it may not be free, because a lot of people want to charge you nowadays.
Right.
But some people are ordained to walk with you during certain seasons of your life. So, number three, definitely make sure you do the research.
Yes.
Definitely make sure you do the research, because even if you get a mentor, they're going to want you to learn some things. They're not going to give you all the tools, because they want you to go fish yourself. And when you start fishing yourself, you learn. And when you start learning, you can ask questions. So it's a cycle of education. And my number four should have been number one. Do not be afraid to collaborate.
Yes.
I mean, people don't understand the power of collaboration.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just by happenstance that God put two of each on the earth. He did it so they can multiply, so they can prosper, so they can be in, on a whole nother trajectory.
Yep.
And that even goes for us. How much more can he do for us if he does it to the fishes and the all the other creatures? He wants us to get with somebody so that we can make a beautiful creation upon his earth. That's what he ordained us to do. Even far as the 12 disciples, he sent them out by twos. You can never do anything successful on your own, and that's just reality. I mean, like, seriously, you can see the most greatest and most successful individuals, they did not get there alone. They had somebody that they collaborated with. They had somebody that stood by them. They had somebody that pushed them. So my number four is very meaningful to me, because I don't care if I have to reach out to you. Pride is not a factor to me. I try my best, excuse me, y'all, to stay humble, because I know humility for me continues to bring blessings my way. So you may see me collaborating with a lot of individuals, but guess what? I'm getting the job done. So don't be afraid to collaborate, okay?
Exactly.
That's my take.
Exactly. And pray for those divine connections. Don't connect with the wrong people, because that can cost you, right? So that's where that PPE comes in. Pray, plan and execute, right? Plan. Don't move until God tells you to move. Sometimes we pray and then we just zoom, we just take off. I've been there, I've done that. And so then I had the nerve to come back and say, well, God, you told me you do this and it didn't work. He said, I told you, but you didn't wait for me to tell you when. And you didn't wait for me to tell you how. So that was my thing, is that I used to be so excited when God used to give me something that I would just run with it. And now I've learned to wait, to be patient, to hear from him, to tell me how to do it, when to do it, because timing is everything. Timing
It
is
is.
everything. And I thought about this earlier, Coach Mo, how it took us basically a year to get this podcast started. A year. And
Mm-hmm.
we couldn't understand why every time we went or we scheduled a time to meet and talk, that something would go wrong. Right?
Right.
We thought it went
That's so
wrong.
true.
But God was saying, I need you to do it in this year, at this time, because I know the
Mm-hmm.
audience that I have set up for you. I
Yes.
know the people that you are assigned to. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that delay to us seems like a delay, but it's just preparation. It's preparation. There was more
Mm-hmm.
that he needed to download it in us so that we can give it out to other people. And I was just
Right.
thinking about that. I'm like, but because to me, it was just so mind blowing that whenever we had to reschedule something, something would go wrong. Well, we thought it
Right.
was wrong, but something would go, something would
What
go that
happened? Like,
just
seriously.
we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't meet. I mean, a whole year, because I even looked at the notes, I looked at the text messages, I looked at the DM. A year, guys, a year, and we're just getting started. So season 1 was good. It was great. But wait,
It was.
you wait as for season 2. God is going to blow our
Mm-hmm.
minds, and he's going to blow yours, because he's going to show you just exactly why timing is essential. Timing is
That's so
essential.
true.
So even when you do get direction from God, you need to wait, and you need to wait until he tells you, okay, now is the time. Now.
Mm-hmm.
So when God gives you direction, you say, okay, God, I got the direction. I'm going to stay here and wait. I'm waiting for you to tell me exactly when I need to do it, how I need to do it, who I need to do it with. Right? Because all those
Mm-hmm.
things matter. All those things matter because he knows the outcome. He knows. And so we got to stay on track. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, you need God in the center of it. You need him, because it
Yes,
takes a
indeed.
lot out of
Mm-hmm.
you mentally, emotionally, physically, because I just said to God, like, the other day, okay, God, there's points where I only have like 10-15 minutes in between my first job and then seeing clients, right? And so just like
Mm-hmm.
today, my first job, I work at a university, as I work in the office of research. And then, I did that. I had meetings, I had clients. Now
Mm-hmm.
we're recording. So my day is over probably a 13-14 hour day, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so nobody but God can give me that strength to do what I needed to do. Because
Right.
Danielle would have been like, it's Operation Shutdown. I'm tired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I know I had to meet those assignments today, because those are the assignments that God had set up for me today. Now, if I didn't meet those assignments, whose fault would it have been? Me, right? Mine.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been my
All
fault.
yours. Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, allow God to lead you, allow him to download in you. Find the balance when it comes to, even if it's just your career, you need to find balance. You have to pour back into yourself so that you can effectively give out to other people. And remember, you cannot have an employee mindset and have entrepreneurial success. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Okay.
to have a different mindset. Entrepreneurship has a different mindset. It involves determination, it involves focus, drive, decisiveness, independence, flexibility, and
Okay. Come on.
okay, thirst for knowledge. That's me. I love to learn, because I never will think, oh, I have arrived and I know it all. No, we don't. So every day you need to pull some different knowledge out of that day. And most of
Mm-hmm.
all, our favorite word, Coach Mo,
Mm-hmm.
authenticity.
You better say it. You better
That's what's going
say
to
it.
set you apart from
Yes.
other people. Authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
because there's 50 million coaches, there's 50 million therapists, there's 50 million podcasts out there. If we were to look at how many podcasts are out there, it probably would hinder you from saying, I don't think I should start a podcast, because there's enough of those out there. It's enough of those out there. But what makes and sets us apart is our authenticity. So many listeners have said that. This is not scripted. This is not scripted at all. We pray, we get up here, and we allow God, right? We allow God to use us, period. No matter what the topic is. I'm telling you, because I told Coach Mo last week, I said, Coach Mo, every time we record a episode, right after that, God starts putting stuff on my timeline of what we just talked about. And it's amazing. So I'm like, okay, we're in the right place at the right time. And so, we wanted to do this because we are entrepreneurs. We do have careers. We thought it was important for us to let you know that it's not always peaches and cream on this side, but it's worth it, because if it's a part of your purpose, it's worth it. It's worth it. And so you have to ask yourself, yes, we need money, but if you weren't getting paid to do what you do as an entrepreneur, would you still do it?
Yeah.
And when you know your purpose, the answer to that should be yes. Because it should be purpose first. Because especially when you know your purpose and who God is, that should be first.
Right. And let me just drop a few nuggets for you all. I know I gave you a few key pointers, but because I heard it was just like when you were talking, Coach D. Well, how do I even try to get set up and stuff like that? So the first thing you want to do is write a business plan, and it goes hands in hand with what we said about setting goals. It'll give you a blueprint on how you want your business to look like, how you want it set up. The business plan should be involved with your mission statement and your vision. What are you trying to do here? Who are you trying to reach? And I know when I first got started, I'll never forget an individual. I love her to pieces. And she kept telling me, she says, you have to know your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you going into this? Because if you do not know your why, just like Coach D said, there will be a many days that you don't want to do it. But every time that why comes before you, it'll push you. Should ignite a fire in you and say, you know what, I still have to do it anyway. So once you get that mission statement together, once you create your vision, see yourself where you want to go, you want to then create your LLC with the state, whatever state you're in. That means that you'll know what business name you're using, the entity that you're using. I know I have two. I have a trucking. I'm in the trucking industry. I have contracts with the government in that field, and then I also coach. So that it's almost like a communicator, public figure, whatnot. And then after you do your LLC with your state, it actually creates your EIN number, where you have to send it over to the IRS. So it's almost like a social security number for your business. So once you get that social security number for your business, the main thing you want to do after that is to create a business account. You can go to any credit union, you can go to any bank and open up a business checking account and a business saving account.
Yes, that's cool.
And every time you get paid from your client or from your business, endeavors, put that money over to the checking account, but also make sure you add some money over to the savings account. At least, I would say about 10% of that, of however much you get paid, put it over in your savings account, because what it does, you may not get ding through the IRS your first, second, or third year, but you'll have some cushion over in there just in case Uncle Sam wants to say, hey, she's making quite a few bucks here, so let's kind of tap into that. So once you do all of that, you're all set to actually start your business. And then you can go into creating content and, different things like that. But that's really how you actually start a business entity. So I hope that helps somebody who was struggling with how to create and move forward with that.
Yes, and that LLC is so important. You want to protect your personal assets. So that LLC is the way to go. It's the way to go.
And a lot of people trademark.
Yeah.
They get a trademark. That way you cannot Bobo them. They can't they can't grab your name and they can't grab your jingle because it's stamped. It's trademarked.
Yeah.
Sealed.
Yeah. And it's worth it. It's worth the work. It's your stuff, your business. You thought about it. It's your idea. You don't want someone to come along and just steal it from you, and have the legal right to do it. So, you want to protect yourself and your business. And start researching. And when I say researching, I mean start asking people, who do you use as an attorney? Who do you use, as an accountant? Because those are some hard people to find. Good, honest accountant and lawyer, attorney. You want to ask people, who are you using? How long have you been using them? And just market that way, because it's hard to just see who people are online, because I can write my own my own reviews if I wanted to as somebody else. So you want to make sure these people are legit, right? And remember, this is your hard work. This is your hard work, your blood, sweat, and tears, and you don't want to lose it because you chose the wrong people to be in your circle. Okay?
Yeah.
So referrals.
Right. And then also, Coach D, when you're researching the accountant, the attorney, you want to choose someone who actually can get paid by the hour.
Right.
Do not choose anyone who asks for you for a percentage, because what they're doing, they're ripping you off.
Yeah. Big time.
I had to learn the hard way.
Big time. Yeah.
So
you're right.
So
Absolutely.
even 1% is huge, especially if you're getting cut $100,000 check. You have to give them 1% of that instead of giving them $350 for that hour or two. Yeah, that's a ripoff.
Yeah, absolutely. And online presence is important too. That's something that I know I have to work on. I'm good at posting. I can post all day. It's just making time for making videos and lives and stuff like that. I still have to get into. So I know, and my coach is pushing me.
Me too.
And she's like, you need to do it. You need to do it. You need to do it. I'm like, I know. Because I'm such a behind the scenes person that makes things happen behind the scenes. And so, that's one thing God is working on me with as well, is pushing me to the forefront and making your presence known. Because it's true, when people see you, your product is more, how can I say, you're more relatable, and your product is out there, and they see that you're a real person, that you're doing real things, so that is one thing. And that's huge with growth, is being able to identify those things, your weaknesses, and those things that you need to perfect and become better at. And that's one thing I can say that I'm truly lacking in. And but I do have those people pushing me. I do have them pushing me in the corner. Like, if you don't do this, you need to do this. And so we're working on that. We're going to do that. And we're only going to become better. It's only up from here. It's only up from here. We can only get better. But we wanted to give you guys this episode. We have one more episode for this season. I cannot believe season
Whoop,
1
whoop.
almost over.
Yes.
And we've had such a great time. I'm telling you, season 2, guys, is going to be off the chain. I'm telling you, we're coming
Let 'em
bigger.
have it.
We're coming harder. We're coming. I'm telling you, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal. And I trust God and I believe God. And this was only a test. This was a test to see our consistency, our faithfulness, you know, and to become so, I guess, not routine, but that consistency matters. It really does matter, because it's easy to say I'm not doing it. And that's another thing before we close. With entrepreneurship, it is so easy not to do it, because there's no one to hold you accountable. That's why a coach and having people surrounding you that really cares about you and your business, that can say, look, did you do this? Did you do that? You know, because it's easy for an entrepreneur to stay in the bed. It's easy. Right. It is easy because you have no consequence, but you will have the consequence later. With a job, if they say you need to be here from 8 to 4, you know you got to be there 8 to 4. You have to set boundaries with yourself as an entrepreneur. You have to say, okay, if you work a 9 to 5 and you come home, you have to say, okay, I don't have any clients. Well, from 6 to 7, I need to work on this business. I need to work on my marketing. I need to set it up. I need to do recordings. I need to do whatever. You have to be ambitious. You have to be motivated to keep going. Okay? Right, and you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to. We all need somebody to hold us accountable, because it's too easy to slack off. It really is. It is. But, you know, we'll be back with another episode next week. If there's any questions or comments or something we didn't cover and you need some answers to, please comment or email us. Our email is vocpodcast22@gmail.com. Again, or you can also go to our YouTube channel. This will be downloaded as well. You can leave a comment there. We're doing good on YouTube. I didn't think, it was going to jump off this quick, but it's jumping off.
Oh, really? To God be the glory.
Yeah, the analytics is very good, and YouTube is pushing us out there. So, like I said, we're just getting started. We are just getting started. We're learning as we go. We are. We had no idea. We didn't know how to work the equipment. We didn't know how to work any of that. we let God lead us, right?
We seasoned.
Now we seasoned.
That's my answer. We seasoned.
Okay, we seasoned now. Now we might have to do some workshops on how to start a podcast. Hello, somebody. Who knows? Who knows what God has planned for us? But any last comments, Coach Mo? We're gonna wrap up.
You know what? I just want to say a quick prayer because I know there are a lot of individuals out there who want to move forward with their ideas and their ambitions, and they just don't have the strength to. So, God, I'm asking you to touch those individuals' hearts. Give them the strength that they need to follow what you say, your instructions. We know that you are the God that created them. So the creation is already in them. It just needs to be fulfilled. So give them the authenticity, give them the audacity to move forward in what you have in them, in Jesus' name. And we're going to say it is so.
It is so.
And this is your girl, Monique.
Amen, amen.
And I'm your host with Voices of Change.
That's it. We're out. This is Coach D, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
And that completes another episode of the Voices of Change podcast. We'll talk to you next time. Be blessed.